Hi, everybody. My name is Brittany, and I will be your studio host today. I hope you're all having a great day, morning, night. I'm not sure where you are in the world, but I hope it's been a great day for you. We have an amazing artist, Cristina. She's from a little town in Sweden. I'll let her explain a little bit more about herself in a second. If you're new here, thank you for coming to one of our live demos. And if you're a frequent flyer with us, thanks for coming back. I hope you'll enjoy this one just as much as the last one you watched. Just a couple of things to note. We do a Q&A session at the end of every live demo. So if you have a question, feel free to ask during the session, but if you don't see it come up right away, it's probably because I'm saving it for the Q&A. And also, if you ask a question, if you wouldn't mind just typing it in all capital letters so I can defer it a little bit easier from a comment, that would be amazing. I will be noting just a couple things in the chat as well. So it's always good to just check that out every once in a while. And I have a really fun announcement from Etcher too about one of our products dropping today. It's our new greeting cards. They are actually going to be paired up with our, one of our paints. It's the pearlescent paints. It's the versatile paint pack. So if you want to order our cards and try out our paints, they come in a bundle and you'll get the paints for a discounted price of 25% off. This deal only lasts for 48 hours, so make sure you check that out. You can just go over to our etcherlab.com website and you'll see all the info there. All right, without further ado, I'll stop talking so we can get to the fun part. Cristina, do you want to take over?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Cristina, and I'm based in Sweden, as Brittany already told you. I live in a very small town. It's called Ludvika. I started painting 4 years ago, and I'm self-taught, so I don't have any formal art education. But I really love painting, and I really love watercolor, so that's what I do. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some of my arts. This is a similar painting to what we're gonna do today. And this as well. And then I've got this, it's a bit bigger. Yeah, so we're gonna do something like this today.
Beautiful, can't wait.
It's about catching the light, I think, if I would explain it somehow, about getting the light right. So should I start?
Yeah, they can see your screen.
My thing? Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start off by sketching the tree. I've got my reference photo in front of me, and it's not gonna be exactly like the reference photo. And I'm mostly gonna sketch like where I wanna put the tree. In the reference photo, it's in the center, but I'm gonna put it a bit to the side for composition. So I'm gonna just sketch where I want the top of the tree, and then I'm gonna start sketching the snow that's lying on the branches. And I also want to tell you I'm a bit nervous about the English. I'm better at English in writing because I can check up words and stuff on Google Translate. Yeah, I'm just want to warn you about my English.
No worries, Cristina. If you need a hand with anything, I'm always here.
Thanks. It's perfect. So there, some snow here, some snow there. I'm not drawing the branches, just the trunk or stem.
Mhm.
I don't know. You know, the
trunk.
the trunk, just so I know more or less where I want it.
Oh,
and then maybe
sorry, Christina, do you mind just drawing a little bit harder? It's hard to see on the video screen.
no problem.
Thank you
Is
very
that
much.
better?
I can see it a little bit more now, yeah.
I could use another pen. I'm gonna try another pencil.
Sure. Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Yeah, and
I know with watercolor. Oh, sorry.
You can see the tree that we're gonna paint here. I
Mhm.
painted it the other day for preparation. So yeah, this is how it's
So
gonna
your
be.
reference is right beside if anybody
Yeah, I've
needs
got
to look
this,
over.
and also I got the photograph.
Mhm. If you, by any chance, miss the photograph in the description of today's live, I'll just put it in the chat for you. I know with watercolor, you normally want to draw super light. So if you're doing this on your own, just copy what Cristina is doing, but in a much lighter pencil stroke.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm just drawing it harder so that you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's enough. I could always, if I could always change this, but as an like a sketch, and just to remember where I want to leave the white areas later, I'm gonna keep it there. And also I'm gonna draw a line for the horizon. Yeah, and I think I want it a bit higher up. So I'm gonna, sorry about this.
It's okay. It's part of the process.
There, maybe something like that. And the light is gonna be more or less around the top of the tree or the tree top. So I'll try to remember that when I paint the first layer, which will be the background light. Okay, so I'm gonna start painting now. I'm gonna use my round brush, number 12. And I'm gonna use a mix of phthalo blue and cobalt blue, a very thin mix. So I'm gonna do the mix. Yeah, I'm gonna prepare the mix. But before I start painting, I'm gonna wet the paper so to make it flow better. And I use a lot of water. Actually, I'm gonna put another clip here. I don't use masking tape. I do sometimes, but I'm not doing it today. I made a square where I wanted like to paint inside instead of using masking tape. And the paper, depending on the humidity, will dry quick or slow. And it will dry unevenly. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
So I go over the paper with water until everything is shining. It should for the first layer, I really want the paper to shine. Okay. There, I think. that's okay. I think everything is equally wet. I'm gonna let the water sit now for not so long. It shouldn't dry. When I start to paint, the paper should still be shining a bit, if that makes sense.
Yep.
What's the opposite of shining?
Dull.
Yeah, so if the paper goes dull, if you see that it starts to dry, then you need more water. Okay, I have also tilted my sketchbook a bit, so it's sitting on a palette. I've got a palette under here so that it's a bit tilted to make the pigments flow. Okay, I'm gonna start now with the first layer.
Awesome. So you said you're using a combo of cobalt blue and another blue, right?
Yeah, phthalo blue. It's
Phthalo blue.
if you use the Shinhan paints, it's called peacock blue.
Okay.
It's a very bright blue color. And
okay, I see.
a bit greener than cobalt blue. When it's really thin, it makes a really good sky color. I'm gonna mix some more and a bit more concentrated paint. And I look at my reference. If you get too much paint on the paper and start to get puddles, like here, you can always dry the brush and pick that up. And also I'm gonna add a bit of yellow ochre where I want the light. And also a bit more down here. And then I look at my reference and a bit more cobalt blue down here. Yeah, so this has to dry now, and I'm gonna use my blow dryer to dry it because that's quicker and we don't have much time. So
No problem.
if you hear this, I'm really sorry. If you do, you should tell me to mute.
No, we're all good. I can't hear it.
Is it okay?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. So I'll take this opportunity to just let you guys know that Cristina will be doing a mini workshop with us on August 13th. If you're interested in how to paint trees in watercolor, this is definitely the class for you. Make sure to check out all the details in the chat that I just posted there. It is an hour-and-a-half class, and she'll take you step by step fully in her process. Whereas today she's just kind of going at her own speed and just showing you her style. Also, I'll take this time to say that we have a Facebook group for participants only. So if you're somebody who's joined our mini workshops or loves our live demos and is looking for a like-minded community of artists, then this is the place for you. Feel free to post your art there, whether you just want to share it or you want to critique or a little bit of help in certain area or something like that. It's an amazing community of fellow artists, and we would love to have you.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
So the paper is dry, but I want to make sure that it's completely dry before I put the second layer. It shouldn't be damp, and you can fill the paper and yeah, I think I need it to be a bit more drier, so I'm gonna go ahead with the blow dryer again.
No problem. I'm curious as to where everybody is from. If just type in the chat where you guys are from.
I'm gonna start with the the first wash is done. It's dry, and I'm happy with the first wash. I like it. So I'm gonna do the second layer now, and I will be doing a bit of contrasts between the sky and the ground in the horizon. And it's gonna be, the sky is gonna be darker here, as you can see, and brighter here. And the ground is gonna be darker here and brighter there. And I think that will make the painting or the sketch a bit more dynamic. It will look more interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead.
Sweet.
I use the same mix for this with the cobalt blue and Taylor blue.
Are you going with the same thickness of paint, same opacity?
Yeah, the same. I don't add any more water to the mix or any more paint. Here I want the paint to the edges here should be soft. I don't want any hard or sharp edges. So where I see that the paint is making edges, I pick that up. Yeah, that was too late. And then this side. And as you can see, for now, I don't care much about the snow on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm painting over them because the snow on the tree, because the tree is backlit, will be darker than the background. So no worries. I think that's how I want it. Pretty happy with that.
Looks great.
You could always, if you're not happy, you could always do another layer. I think it's better to go with light layers.
Mm-hmm.
With and use not concentrated paint, because you could always go darker. It's harder to go from dark to light, so you could always go darker if you're not satisfied.
Right. A good thing to note too is when you're layering is to have it completely dry, just like Cristina is doing now. That way your paper doesn't get too upset with you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put in the chat a little link for a survey. When the live demo is over, if you guys wouldn't mind filling out this quick little survey, it takes less than 2 minutes. It's a multiple choice quick survey. It just really helps us out for future live demos. Thank you so much.
So the second layer is done. I'm making sure that the paper is dry enough to continue. And now I'm going to paint the tree, and I need to prepare a really dark mix of greenish yellow, cobalt blue, and indigo. So I'm gonna do that mix, and to make the mix, I'm gonna use the bigger brush because that's easier. Brittany, what's the opposite of concentrated?
You're putting me on the spot. I'm trying to think of a proper word for it. I would just say not concentrated, diluted.
Diluted. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
When you're put on the spot, it's hard for me to think of the right word.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm here to help.
I think that's what's happening to me as well. Like, I forget the words. I know the words, but I forget them.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you speak English way better than I could speak Swedish, so.
Thanks. So there. I'm going to show you now how the mix looks there. You see it's almost black.
Yeah.
It's going to dry lighter. So we'll have to go over the tree a couple of times, I think. But we can start painting the tree now. And when I paint the tree, I observe the reference photo more because the mind works in very funny ways. It's gonna paint what the symbol of a tree, like the Christmas tree from Disney. That's how the mind remembers the tree. So automatically, this is what's going to happen. It's like the memory is built in. So I really want to observe the tree because I don't want it to look like a Disney Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
I really recommend here really observing the reference photo. And the tree on the reference photo is really irregular. It's a bit, it looks a bit sad, I think, with twigs and branches going everywhere. And the snow is weighing the branches down as well. So it looks a bit heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to get that in the painting. And
yeah,
I'm
it adds like
use
emotion or character to the image. Yeah.
I'm going to use the medium-sized brush, and it's the number 6 for this. And here I'm going to paint around the snow. So the sketch here. I'm going to paint around that. But I'm going to start at the top of the tree. And I go. I try to make the strokes irregular.
So just small little flick kind of strokes.
Yeah. And while I want to observe the tree, it doesn't have to look exactly like the tree on the reference photo. So it's just to, the observation is just to get the brain to work in a different way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really irregular.
And sorry, Cristina, did you say what size brush you're currently using?
This is the number 6 Etcher brush.
If anybody is curious about more info on our brushes, I'll just put a little link in the chat.
This, I would say the ferrule, I think that's called. It's maybe 3 millimeters wide, I think, or 3 or 4 millimeters.
I like the point on the brushes that we have.
Yeah, they're really pointy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like them too. Etcher gifted me these, and I'm really happy about it.
Glad you enjoy them.
So, oh yeah, I always forget one part in this painting, and it's the light parts of the tree here. You can see it's a bit lighter. So I'm gonna take the greenish yellow and make a bit more concentrated because it's a lighter value. This paint has a lighter value, so I need to make the paint more concentrated. There.
Do you mind dropping a little bit of that color just below the other swatch that you did?
Yeah.
Just so they can see what that tone looks like. Perfect, thank you.
Wait. Like that. It's a bit too diluted still. One moment.
Thanks.
Something like that. And this will, you could say this is where the sun, the tree is backlit, but the sun comes a bit from this direction. So the light hits the branches here. So that's why I make them brighter.
Right.
I'm going to continue with the tree now. And you have to be really patient with this part. This is the part that takes the most time. So I couldn't hear where you guys are from. I heard that Brittany asked you. So where are people from?
Yeah, I'll go back and read where some people said that they're from. Texas, Kentucky, Delaware, Ontario, Guatemala, Argentina, New York, Minnesota.
Hola a la gente de Argentina. That's my Spanish.
That's your Spanish?
Yeah.
I wish I was better with languages. You seem so good at them.
Yeah, my family, I'm half Spanish, so that's why I speak Spanish.
Oh, cool, cool. Oh, we got someone here from BC, Canada, Panama. Awesome.
It's so cool. This, like, you can reach such a big part of the world from my little basement in Sweden.
Yeah, it's super cool. I love how we're like kind of bringing people together all across the world just through art. It's beautiful.
I notice now when I'm painting that my mix is getting a bit too cold, like a bit more blue than green, and I want it a bit greener, still dark, but greener. So I'm gonna add some more of the greenish yellow and go over the areas that I'm not happy with. Yeah. The image on my screen looks a bit blurred. Is it blurred or is it just my screen?
It's slightly blurred, but I can see what's going on.
Okay.
I also have it a little bit smaller on my end, so I can have the multiple screen thing going on with all the chats and my notes.
Okay.
If anybody is seeing it really blurry, just please let me know in the chat.
I don't know if I think I'm done with the first layer of the tree. Maybe some more here.
And how do you know when you're done with the first layer?
Oh, like I think to myself, do I like it? And if I like it, I stop.
Yeah.
If I don't like it, I continue. But that's also like, it's easy to overwork.
Yeah.
Especially watercolors, because with watercolors, too many layers will make the painting look overworked, because the watercolors are transparent, so every layer will show. So you have to be really really sure before you start another layer that you want to do that layer. And if you're not sure, you could let the painting rest for a couple of days and continue another day. I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I have some areas that I want to make darker. So I'm just going over those. because the dark will bring out the light. So yeah, that's a thing to remember if you want to bring out the light in a painting and really make it look like the sun is shining, is to make use of shadows and dark areas and contrasts. And don't worry about, I mean, a lot of people say that the watercolor should be transparent, and watercolors are transparent, but you can go really dark if you want to, if that's what you like. So I'm gonna do this now. It's the shadow beneath the tree. And for this, I'm gonna use, again, the cobalt blue mixed with peacock blue or phthalo blue. And I'm also gonna add a bit of indigo, but I'm not gonna put the indigo in the same mix. I'm gonna keep it a bit on the side because I want to darken the shadows. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna first paint the shadow, and this doesn't have to be like perfect because the twigs are everywhere, and just make the shadow a bit irregular. And since the sun is coming from here, keep it a bit, keep the shadow in this direction here. And now I'm gonna add the indigo wet. That means that the paint is still wet when I add the indigo, so it will flow. Here I added a bit more cobalt blue as well. I think I want even more indigo. There you can see how dark it is. And I'm gonna something like this. Yeah, I think I like that. Cool. Maybe pull the paint a bit so to get less sharper edges.
You're just going in with clean water to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like that. And now I'm going to start to paint the snow on the tree. And you can't see it, I think, but some areas are still wet on my tree. Like here, I've got some wetness, some wet going on, and here, and here, and a bit here and here. I'm gonna leave those areas because they need to dry before I go in with the paint there. So I'm gonna start to paint the snow where it's dry, like here. And I'm gonna use the same mix with cobalt blue and phthalo blue. A thin mix, a really thin mix this time. And I'm gonna check if that's, it will always dry lighter. So I think that's okay. And I start, here it's dry, so I'm gonna, can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, I think so.
If it's too dark, I dry my brush and pick up the paint. Mhm. Yeah, okay. So that's the first layer on the snow on the tree. I'm gonna add 2 more layers there. So I'm gonna blow dry this. How much time do we have left?
We have about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll be starting the Q&A in about 10 minutes, everybody. If you have a question for Cristina, make sure to get it into the chat so I can ask it later. I'm also gonna put again her mini workshop link.
Okay, so that's dry. Now I will paint the shadow on the snow. So I'm gonna use again the mix with cobalt blue and peacock blue. Enough. I think I will use an even smaller brush for this. I'm gonna use the number 3. And I just add like on the bottom, like of the snow.
I love how just adding a little bit of shadows here and there really makes everything come together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know how it works with other techniques like acrylics or oils, but when painting with watercolors, there is this stage that's going to be really ugly.
Like, yeah, it's like that with acrylic too.
Yeah, and the last 2 like layers or wash or layers will make everything. So if you feel like when you're in the middle of a painting and it feels like, oh, this is not going to work, it's going to be so ugly, because I felt that so many times, and I've thrown so many half done or half finished paintings because I felt so bad about them. but try to be patient and like go all the way through, and it will come together, I think. So for the while the second layer on the snow is drying, I see that I need to darken the tree. So I'm going to make a really, really dark mix, almost black, and just add. And here also I need to be really careful so that I don't paint where it's wet, because then they will they will flow, or I don't know how to say that. Yeah, I don't know. You should just be careful that you paint where it's dry.
Yeah, I think flow would be the right word. Bleed.
Yeah, bleed.
Sometimes people use
Thanks.
bleed.
Yeah. They will bleed together, and that could ruin what you're doing. And now I'm gonna mix some of the dark green with the greenish yellow to make a green, like middle green, and add some shadows to this area where the light is hitting the tree. And here looks, need some. And also I'm gonna add some shadow beneath the tree. Just close to the trunk here. There. And I see that I also need to darken this area, I want to darken this area to get a bit more of contrast, and that will also help to bring out the lights. And when I use the same mix of phthalo blue and cobalt blue. There. And also maybe darken a bit here. And when I pull the paint out, I use clean water. I scrape the brush so that it's damp. And I just pick up the
Water?
Yeah, to pick up the water that's too much. Like
the bead of water.
Yeah.
It's usually when it like forms a little ball.
Yeah.
We call it the bead. I'm sure it's called other things.
I'm also gonna darken this area up here, the sky. And now the snow here on the tree branches is dry enough. So I'm gonna use a bit of indigo and put that into the mix of phthalo blue and cobalt blue. And that's how it looks. I'm gonna thin it out a bit. And now it looks like this. That's good. And I'm gonna add a bit more shadow, like on the bottom of the snow here.
So in just a couple of minutes, I'll start the Q&A, Christina. If
Yeah,
you still need to add a few final touches, I can just ask you questions while you finish.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Oh,
I think that's
sweet.
it.
Perfect timing.
Yeah,
It looks amazing.
thanks. Glad you like
I
it.
really love it. Yeah. I like the way it turned out. And I also like the fact that it's not identical to the next one because trees are all so unique.
Yeah, they are.
I just love trees. I'm like a nerd for trees. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
All
love
right,
trees
so
as well.
You do, yeah. Speaking of trees, you're also going to be doing a tree in the mini workshop, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about what you'll be showing us in the mini workshop?
I think I'm gonna do more or less the same thing, unless I think it's gonna be this. So it's more or less
trees?
the same.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah.
So if you really enjoyed today's live demo, then make sure to sign up for Christina's mini workshop with us. She'll take you more step by step and show you a complete tutorial of how she does her pine trees. And it's an hour-and-a-half class, so you'll get a little bit more time and when she shows you every step of the way. If you missed that link, I dropped it just a second ago in the chat, but I'll put it again just in case. Oh, thank you, everybody. That's kind. Everybody is sending like emoticons and clapping and hugging things and hearts and saying it's amazing. And
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad all of you joined today. I'm really happy about this. I really enjoyed sharing this with you.
oh, thank you. You did so great, Christina. Everybody's saying it's beautiful and they love watching your process. So I'm just gonna get to the couple questions I saved from earlier. Are you using hot or cold pressed paper?
This is cold pressed paper. It's what I use most of the time.
Nice. And is there a particular reason why you prefer cold pressed over hot press?
I find it easier to work with my technique, which is using a lot of water. And I think, for example, hot press is more for botanicals, like when you use more details.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I find that it works better. It's easier to control the wetness and the pigments.
Mm-hmm. Just reading some more comments here. I think you'll really appreciate this one. It's from, sorry if I mispronounce your name, Sydney. No reason for nerves. She is a natural teacher.
Thanks. Actually, I do teach. I'm a secondary teacher, secondary school teacher.
Yeah, well,
So
it definitely comes off in your art lesson.
Thanks. So glad you liked it.
Another question here. What brand of watercolor did you use today?
I use Shinhan PWC. Shinhan also has a brand called Shinhan Pro, but that's a bit confusing because that's like the lower, like student grade paints. These are the artist grade paints from Shinhan. So if you buy Shinhan, I really recommend you buying the PWC.
Awesome. Thanks for answering those questions. Just looking here to see if any more questions popped up. Oh, she answered this a little bit earlier, Veronica, but she's from a little town in Sweden. Do you want to say it again? Because I know I'm going to mispronounce it.
Ludvika.
Awesome. I think we had someone else here from Sweden also. I can't remember who said that they are from Sweden. Would love to know where in Sweden you're from. Another comment here, nice, she talked about her failures so we can press on when we want to give up. Yeah, I love it when teachers do that too. You know, nobody's perfect, and it's a process, art, and you do have that ugly stage, and you just gotta fight through it sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, everybody. We're coming up. We just have a couple of minutes left, so if you have any last-minute questions, now's the time to get them in. And while you might be typing a question, I'm just gonna again say that her mini workshop is going to be on August 13th with us. So don't miss out. If you by any chance can't make that date, you can always purchase the workshop and then you'll be sent a recording of it. I know it's not the same as being live there, but if you really want to learn Christina's style and you maybe have to work that day or something, then you'll be able to watch the recording. Just like today too, we'll be posting a recording of today's session, usually within a few hours. All right, and again, here's the little survey. It really helps us out for future live demos. If you guys want to see any specific content, there's a comment section at the bottom. You can just write, you know, things that you thought of today that were great, or things that you might think that we need to do a little bit better on. But, you know, if you just want to write how great you thought Cristina and I were today, that's okay with me too. You know, nothing but good things, that's okay. No, but in all seriousness, if you guys do want to see something on there or anything, just go ahead and put that in the comment section. We really, really do appreciate you guys taking the time out to fill the survey. All right, with that being said, thank you everybody for coming.
Thank you. Can I also thank you everybody for joining me today. I'm so happy you did.
You're such a great teacher. I can't wait to see how your mini workshop goes, and everybody should go sign up and make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Go like it at the little bottom there, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future demos that we have with more amazing teachers. And again, I want to say thank you to Cristina. I know you said you're a little bit nervous, but you did so great. You did such a good job. So there's no reason to be nervous. I know we had a lot of fun today, so just keep up that momentum for the mini workshop.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much.
No worries. All right, with that being said, I'll let everybody go. Have a good rest of your week, everybody. Bye now.